You know, when you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, you get used to the entire football world having something to say about your team, good, bad, or downright surprising. But I've got to admit, when I saw this recent ranking that put Brian Schottenheimer near the bottom of NFL offensive coordinators, even I had to do a double take. I mean, Schottenheimer isn't exactly new to this game. He's got the name, the resume, and the NFL bloodline. Yet here we are, reading takes that paint him like he's more of a liability than an asset to the Cowboys' chances this season. So let's get into what's really going on here. First off, if you're just tuning in, Schottenheimer stepped in last season as the Cowboys' offensive coordinator after Kellen Moore's exit. Now, Moore was known for his creative play calling and aggressive style. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it backfired. But Schottenheimer's reputation is a bit different. He's seen as more conservative, more balanced, a guy who loves to run the ball and play it safe. And apparently, that old-school approach has rubbed some analysts the wrong way. But here's where it gets interesting. Are these rankings really fair? When you think about it, Schottenheimer didn't even call plays for much of last season. Mike McCarthy took over that duty himself. So when people blast Schottenheimer for the offense's hiccups, are they ignoring the fact that he wasn't fully in the driver's seat? That's the kind of thing that makes you wonder how much these so-called rankings really tell you about what's going to happen on the field. And honestly, let's be real. The Cowboys' offense was far from terrible last year. Dak Prescott had his ups and downs, sure, but the team still put up points. So if Schottenheimer's role grows this season, it might actually help to have someone steady and experienced guiding things instead of just throwing deep balls for the sake of highlight reels. But hey, that's just my take. What about you? Were you shocked to hear Schottenheimer ranked so low? Drop a quick yes in the comments if you think he's underrated, or a no if you actually agree with the critics. I really want to see where Cowboys Nation stands on this one. And while you're at it, make sure you're subscribed if you love honest Cowboys talk like this. We're pushing for that 15,000 subscriber milestone, and every click helps us reach more fans who live and breathe this team like you do. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. 2. Really understand why some folks have it out for Brian Schottenheimer, you've got to look back at his journey through the NFL. This guy didn't just pop up out of nowhere. He's been in the league for nearly 2 decades, carrying the Schottenheimer name that's practically royalty in coaching circles. His dad, Marty Schottenheimer, was one of the most respected head coaches ever. But the thing about carrying a famous name is, the spotlight follows you everywhere, and so does the criticism when things don't go perfectly. Brian first made waves as the offensive coordinator for the New York Jets back in the mid-2000s. Remember those Mark Sanchez years? Yeah, the butt fumble era, but also the back-to-back AFC championship appearances. That Jets offense wasn't exactly electrifying, but it was solid enough to win games when it counted. Still, the knock on Schottenheimer has always been that he's too conservative, too willing to lean on the run game instead of letting quarterbacks take shots downfield. Some fans loved that safe style. Others hated watching third and long turn into yet another checkdown. After the Jets, he bounced around. St. Louis Rams, Indianapolis Colts, Seattle Seahawks. With each stop, the same narrative followed. Run heavy, maybe a bit predictable, not the flashy offensive mind some teams crave in today's pass-happy league. But if you really break it down, it's not like he's been stuck with elite quarterbacks his entire career. Some of those rosters were downright rough. Even in Seattle, where he worked with Russell Wilson, things started strong but got stale fast, and the two eventually parted ways. Now, fast forward to Dallas, he steps in under Mike McCarthy, who wants more balance and fewer risky turnovers than what we saw with Kellen Moore's all-gas, no-brakes style. Schottenheimer was supposed to bring that steady hand, that back-to-basics approach. But let's not forget, he didn't have full control last season. McCarthy held the play, sheet tight. So is it really fair to pin every offensive shortcoming on him when he wasn't even the one calling the shots? Seems a bit lazy if you ask me. I'm curious, When you look back at Schottenheimer's career, do you think he's been dealt a fair hand? Was he just stuck in bad situations with limited talent, or is there something to the argument that he's just not creative enough for today's game? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I know you've got opinions. And if you're new here, hit that little bell next to the subscribe button so you never miss a deep dive like this one. We're all about peeling back the layers of this team, good and bad, because if you're a real Cowboys fan, you know it's never boring around here. Now let's talk about what Brian Schottenheimer's offensive philosophy means for the guy everyone's watching closely, Dak Prescott. At the end of the day, the quarterback is the engine that drives the Cowboys' offense, and how the play caller uses him can make or break the season. So the big question is, does Schottenheimer's approach help Dak shine or hold him back? Schottenheimer is known for a balanced attack that leans on the run game and short, high-percentage throws. That means fewer deep bombs and more controlled plays to keep the chains moving. For some quarterbacks, this kind of system is perfect. It minimizes mistakes and helps manage the game clock. But for Dak, who has the arm and talent to make big plays downfield, fans have wondered if this style restricts his natural game. Last season, under Kellen Moore's aggressive offense, Dak had more chances to air it out, but the risk was higher too, leading to inconsistent results. Schottenheimer's plan seems like an attempt to protect Dak and let the offensive line set the tone with the run. But here's the catch. If the running game stalls, that conservative play calling can become predictable and easier for defenses to defend. So far, Dak has handled the change with professionalism, but you can tell Cowboys fans want to see him unleashed, making those explosive plays that turn games around. Schottenheimer's reputation for caution doesn't exactly inspire confidence that Dak will get that freedom this year. But at the same time, sometimes less flashy, more steady offense is what wins games in the long run. What do you think? Do you trust Schottenheimer to get the best out of Dak? Or do you worry this approach will cap his ceiling? Type yes if you believe in the OC's plan, or no if you think Dak needs a more aggressive scheme to reach his potential. I'll be watching the comments because this one's going to spark some debate. Also, if you're enjoying the breakdown so far, give this video a thumbs up. Every like helps us get more Cowboys fans involved in the conversation. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next chapters where we dig into how this all fits into the bigger coaching picture and what it means for the team's future. All right, now let's zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture. What Schottenheimer's ranking means for the entire Cowboys coaching staff, especially head coach Mike McCarthy. Because honestly, you can't separate one coordinator's reputation from the vibe around the whole team's leadership. Mike McCarthy's been under a microscope ever since he took the Cowboys job, and the pressure only mounts when coordinators like Schottenheimer get dinged publicly. If your offensive coordinator is seen as one of the weaker links that puts more heat on the head coach to step up and keep things running smoothly, and that's exactly what many fans and analysts have been debating. Should McCarthy be more hands-on with the offense? The thing is, McCarthy has a history as an offensive-minded head coach. He was the play caller in Green Bay for years before becoming a head coach. So when he decides to hand the reins over to someone else like Schottenheimer, you've got to wonder how much trust there really is there. Last year, McCarthy actually took back the play-calling duties midway through the season, which speaks volumes. Does this suggest McCarthy is not confident in Schottenheimer? Or is it just the natural give and take when a new coaching staff is settling in? Whatever the case, this dynamic creates some uncertainty about the offensive identity. And uncertainty is never great when you're chasing a championship. As a Cowboys fan, you want to see a united, confident coaching staff with a clear vision. But this ranking, and the chatter around it, suggests cracks might be showing. Maybe McCarthy needs to step up his leadership even more, or maybe Schottenheimer has to prove he's worth the role. Either way, it's a storyline worth following closely this season. What's your take? Should McCarthy be more involved with the offense, or should Schottenheimer have full control to run his system? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And hey, if you love getting these insider looks at the Cowboys coaching drama, hit that subscribe button. We're building a community of real fans who want the truth. No fluff, just facts. Now let's bring it all home and talk about what this all means for the Dallas Cowboys offense moving forward. Can Brian Schottenheimer and this coaching staff silence the doubters and put together an offense that makes a real statement? There's no denying the pressure is on. With a reputation that's taken some hits, Schottenheimer has a chance to prove critics wrong by making smart, effective play calling that gets the best out of Dak Prescott and the rest of the offense. Key players like CeeDee, Tony Pollard, and even rookie additions will have to step up, but a balanced, well-executed game plan could be the difference between another what could have been season and a legitimate run at the playoffs. The Cowboys have the talent. The question is whether the coaching can unlock it in the right way. If Schottenheimer can blend his steady approach with a bit more creativity and trust in Dak's arm, there's no reason this offense can't rise up the rankings and surprise a lot of people. Of course, if the offense stays predictable or too conservative, the criticism will only get louder. Here's what I want to know from you. Are you confident this offense will be in the top 5 this year? Drop a quick yes if you believe it's possible, or a no if you think the offense will struggle under this scheme. I'm looking forward to seeing how Cowboys Nation feels about this challenge. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Sharing this video with a friend who lives and breathes Cowboys football really helps us grow. The more fans we have, the deeper we can dig into the team's story all season long. Thanks for sticking with me through this breakdown. We've got plenty more Cowboys news and analysis coming your way, so stay tuned.